Thank you for joining us today. We have a great program with company conversations today with the Red Sea Development Company joining us. So what a great opportunity to find out about one of the major projects going on in the kingdom right now. And they have brought an incredible team with them as well, as we could certainly expect. I think we have probably 9 or 10 presenters, or not presenters, but people joining us from Red Sea that will be available for presentations as well as Q&A afterwards. They're going to speak about it. Lots of topics for you today, everything from sustainability to recruitment to an elite recruitment program that they operate as well. After the presentation, they will be available for the question and answers, as I mentioned. I'll moderate that. So if you would like to unmute your microphone and ask the question yourself, you are certainly welcome to do that. Or you can post your question to the chat box, and I will be watching that and try to ask your question. In addition to the great slate of presenters that will be speaking, we also have 3 recent KAUST graduates who are currently working at Red Sea Development Company. Noura Islam, Dana Alhagas, and Yara Aldris will be available as well. So if you have questions about from a new graduate's perspective, then one of those 3 would be a great person to go to. So let's get started, and I will introduce Mr. Zahar Felimban. He is the Learning and Development Director and is also the head of HR. So Mr. Felimban, I will turn it over to you and let you lead your team.
Kevin, thank you so much. I appreciate such a wonderful moment with you guys. Allow me first of all to thank you for the invitation. It is our greatest pleasure to be among the institute which leads Saudi Arabia's science and technology efforts. This is just a golden opportunity to group up with you guys. KAUST has been a strategic partner to the Red Sea Development Company from the start. We believe that by continuing working together as one team, we'll always achieve the best outcomes. Our career conversation today is to capitalize on this partnership and share with you information from several angles of the company. I and my colleagues are absolutely pleased to answer any questions related to different topics after this session. Allow me briefly just to try and highlight the Red Sea Development Company's set of values, which is in the essence of everything we do at work and outside of work. Let me start by respect. Respect is at the center of everything, and I would like to share one single slide with you guys here. Respect is at the center of everything we do and is the beating heart of our values. We respect the workplace we come to, the colleagues we work with, the diversity we bring to the company, and the environment in our culture. Responsibility, on the other hand, is our second set of values. We are responsible to have positive impact towards the environment and the surrounding community through our CSR initiatives, education programs, and sustainable efforts. Collaboration. We always ensure we communicate, share knowledge, and work together in a caring global environment. We work hand in hand with our stakeholders and partners to succeed and reach our common goals. Our 4th value is passion. We're passionate to showcase our culture through a new window of sustainable luxury tourism. All these values kind of created the identity of our people in the company. And we are all proud today of who we are. Allow me now just to pass by the mic to my colleagues as they would like to share with you several areas from the company. As Kevin said, I again would appreciate this opportunity to be with you guys and answer any questions afterwards. Thanks a lot, Kevin.
So I am working with the HR team as an onboarding specialist in the company, and I would love just to take you through a couple of slides to talk about the Red Sea project. So as you may know, the Red Sea project is part of the Giga project that supports the Vision 2030 that was announced back on April 2016 by His Royal Highness Mohammed bin Salman. It is a luxury destination. Luxury tourism is destination extends over 20,000 square kilometers with over 90 islands. We believe by the perfect habitat we have on site and the perfect location with all the assets that we're planning to build, we will have a place that will be just changing and positioning the Saudi Arabia on the globe. You can see that it is actually just right on the crossroads of Europe, Asia, Africa, and Middle East. We will have our own airport as well, so this will make it easier for our tourists to just come over and visit and just see how beautiful our site is. Global GDP is actually, so the tourism industry accounts for 10.4 of the global GDP. In Saudi Arabia, it's only 3.4, and this comes from the religious tourism. Muslim people to just come and perform Hajj and Umrah. So there is a huge potential for growth for Saudi Arabia. We believe that the Red Sea project is going to contribute to this massively. It has its natural wonders. I always like to talk about the environment and how are we committed to the environment and sustainability, but I'm gonna leave this to Raed and Rusty to take you over this. We are so committed as well to preserve the cultural and environmental heritage of Saudi Arabia. It is close by to Al Ula city, which is an historical attraction of Saudi Arabia. It is all about having an extraordinary experience for our visitors. We are aiming to have the luxury travelers. We know that they are actually paying 6 more times than the regular ones, and they travel twice times more than the regular ones. So if you want to attract such people who have it all, you will have to have such. Sorry. Yeah. So you have to have an experience that is so meaningful and different for them. They have it all, and they would expect something different of what they used to have. So we are trying to have this concept of being instead of just having. They had it all already, so we just want them to just have the state of being. The special economic zone, so the zone, which will be on Amala, Red Sea, and Neom as well, it will have an independent laws and regulation. Our teams are now just working on finalizing the royal decree to have its own laws. It will have a separate legal system, more open social norms, just to be a bit of more friendly with our visitors, convenient visitor access, and just to attract more businesses to come and just invest in Saudi Arabia. We will have 2 phases. The initial phase will be open for visitors on 2022 with 300,000 visitors per year, and with the development phase, which will be done by 2030, will have 1 million visitors per year. We will have different offerings. We will have mono islands, inland sites, and gateways for people to just come over. And we also will have the marine and the airport ready by 22, inshallah. So we'll have Ummahat al-Sheikh, Shuraira, and Shibara Islands ready, along with the coastal village for our employees, airport, Desert Rock, and Sadr Dunes as well. By 2030, we'll have different islands developed. Desert Rock, Wadi Village, High Peak, and Northern Falls as well. Different offering types: premium, luxury, and hyper luxury, with mono islands, hub islands, and inland resorts as well. And here we go. Thank you so much for giving me the time. I'll just hand over to the next presenter.
First of all, thank you for the invitation. I really appreciate it. My name is Mohammed Atwajir from the Talent Acquisition Department. I represent the Recruitment Department this afternoon. My current position is a Recruitment Manager here at the Red Sea Development Company, focusing in depth on hiring the best qualified personnel, both in local and a national level. When I first started with the Red Sea Development Project, I joined this organization as a recruitment specialist in the hope of achieving a footprint within the field, not only with the support of my wonderful team, only with the support of my leaders' guidance. I have been managed to acquire that role. My role is to make sure that we here at the Red Sea Development Company achieve and maintain a professional standard within the Saudi workforce while enabling Saudization. This entitles His Highness Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman Vision 2030. So let me just give you a current state snapshot of a current state of what's happening at the moment. So what we are doing and what we have done and where we are in figures. So we have grown rapidly, almost 550 employees and about to reach 600 employees by the end of this year. We have conducted 700 interviews only in 2020, 300 plus with a lockdown. Our Saudization rate today is over 54% within the company, and our target is to reach 60 by the end of this year. Our time hires, as you can see, it doesn't take that long, 38 days. The global average is about 45 days, which is doable. We take great care in ensuring gender equality. As you can see, the rate keeps increasing. And our hiring process, let me just give you a quick brief about the hiring process and jump to something else. So in our hiring process, we use the artificial intelligence throughout our entire recruitment process to ensure that we are up to date in using the right tactics and tools in selecting our employees. So I don't want to bore you with a lot of talks about what we do and what we have done and all of that. I would like to just give you a piece of advice from here, from the talent acquisition department. The modern workforce comprises of how you, the individual, sell yourself. And you are an extension of your own brand. As a recruitment manager, I highly emphasize on the importance of giving this part of the presentation because, well, I was there in your shoe before. I was there at one point, and I understand how frustrating and tedious it can be. I want you all to focus on four main points when you all attempt to enter the Saudi job market. First and foremost, organize and develop a well-written CV. Research the organization before you head there. The job title at hand to better understand what the requirements are before you enter the organization doors. Modern organization use software to filter keywords and achieve needed objectives. To better help us, the recruiters, to identify potential stellar candidates, always make sure you write everything in your CV. When we use LinkedIn and Bait.com, let me just give you a scenario about a candidate we hired recently for a compliance role. The candidate, I kind of felt skeptical about her CV on LinkedIn because she didn't write what I was looking for. We were looking for someone who can establish a compliance program. And when we looked at her profile on LinkedIn, we weren't sure about the profile, but when we had to give her a call, it was totally different. It was the candidate and the right caliber that we're looking for. So just for example, that you always have to do your CV in the perfect way to market yourself. The second point I would like to highlight and address is punctuality and appearance. When you get a job, when you get a chance for a job interview, make sure to dress smart and be punctual. Arrive 15 to 20 minutes prior to the interview. Introduce yourself to the reception. That's the first thing that when you know that that's it, you just started your interview. So you don't want to be in a scenario where you have to justify yourself. Well, I couldn't find parking, my Uber was late, blah, 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 blah. You don't want to be in that spot. The third point I would like to discuss is the interview following my first 2 points. Once you get into an interview, make sure you appear calm. Talk clearly and with confidence. When asked about your project, talk in depth about your senior project. The project greatly concerns us, the recruiters, and to assisting you and finding your capabilities and behavior competencies and how they fall in line with our goals as the Red Sea Development Project. A perfect GPA doesn't mean everything to us. We need candidates to stand out, push through the extra miles. Present me your senior project. Talk to me about your senior project. Don't just show up in the interview and just tell me about yourself and your weaknesses and strengths. Tell me about what you have achieved during college life. Let me just give you a scenario about a candidate who was one of the top calibers and top, let's say, profiles that we interviewed so far for one of the roles in our company, who screwed the whole interview with one thing that he did, which is the body language, the hand gesture. So always watch out to yourself. In conclusion, we have all been there. Just be punctual and confident and maintain your personality. Don't just try to be someone else. Be who you are. Thank you so much for your time. And I now pass it to the next speaker.
Thank you, Mohammed. That was great advice. Especially appreciate the dressing appropriately and being early on time and having done your research.
Definitely.
For sharing. That's great to hear that from the employer's perspective. Dr. Brainerd, if you're available, you are welcome to go ahead and start, sir.
Oh, well, thank you, and I very much apologize for joining late. I just ended another meeting that was a high-level meeting with our ministry colleagues. I'd like to welcome the KAUST folks, and it's an honor to be able to speak with you. We work very closely with KAUST on the environment side. I believe RIDE has already spoken on the corporate side of environment and sustainability, and I apologize if there's some overlap between what RIDE said and what I'm going to be speaking about. To kind of avoid a little bit of confusion, my role and my team's role will be established as the environmental regulator, will be the Department of Environment and Sustainability under the Red Sea Authority for the Special Economic Zone. So RIDE's team and my team have very different roles. Are both of us and the entire Red Sea project are striving really to do something that's never been achieved at the scale of the Red Sea project in terms of the best practices globally for environmental sustainability, really, and the regulations for the environment all aim to minimize the negative impacts of development on the environment. In most development, they don't come anywhere near that. Most development has had very significant negative impacts on the environment, and that's around the globe, including across much of the kingdom. We're not trying to just minimize negative impacts for the Red Sea project. We're actually being very bold, and the vision is really as part of Vision 2030, is we're actually striving to actually enhance the environment, to enhance biological diversity across this large special economic zone. And that's both because we know it's the right thing to do for the planet, but it also makes sense for our business model. And in our case, and other speakers have shared with you, that we're a luxury tourism project to establish a new and diversify the economy of Saudi Arabia. And we're wanting to attract visitors from across the kingdom, from across the Gulf states and around the globe to the special natural beauty of this site on the Red Sea. We know that the reason people will come to our site is because we have spectacular coral reefs. We have nesting sea turtles. We have nesting seabirds. We have cetaceans and dugongs. We have a beautiful natural environment, and that's why we think people will come from all over the globe to spend their vacation time at our site. We also know that if we compromise that, they won't come. They'll go to other places. So we're doing everything we can to not only sustain, but to enhance the environment. And we've made some very bold commitments in enhancing our diversity. We're trying to achieve 30% more coral reefs, 30% more mangroves, 30% more seagrasses, and 30% more native vegetation. Nobody has, particularly for coral reefs, nobody's ever come close to those scales anywhere on the globe, and yet we're striving to do that. And we know that we can't achieve these very ambitious goals without continual advancements in science and technology. We're working very closely right now with KAUST and with research institutions around the kingdom and around the globe to help find solutions that will enable us to really put Saudi Arabia on a special place on the map as kind of the place to go for your vacation if you're really focused on environmental sustainability. Another challenge that we've put on ourselves is our commitment to carbon neutrality. And in most places, they do that they end that statement 100% carbon neutrality in operations, but they don't include everything coming to or from the site. In our case, we're going to have 100% renewable energy, wind and solar. We're going to have 100% electric vehicles, but we're also working to remove the emissions of everything and every person that comes to or from our site. And that's incredibly challenging because our visitors are going to be coming across the region around the globe. We're anticipating by 2030 1 million visitors a year. So we're going to be producing with current technologies about 1 million metric tons of carbon. Mostly, about 70% of that is from flights bringing people to and from all over the globe. So we're developing technologies with the Ministry of Energy, with KAUST, and with other colleagues around the globe to help us capture that carbon using multiple technologies. So we're very ambitious in our aspirations, and we need, you know, the brightest individuals, the passionate people around the globe and across the kingdom to help us find solutions. So we're very much into kind of research and development to help support and help us achieve the vision that's coming, to help us achieve Vision 2030. So again, it's a very exciting place to be. We have a very dynamic team. As you've already heard from the other speakers, the Red Sea Project is really a special place. Both the people that work within the company and the commitment, again, all the way up to the Royal Court, are really committed to doing something that's exceptionally special. And from my biases on the environment side, what we're really trying to do is really never been done anywhere on the planet, is develop a major new economy sustainably and in an enhanced way. So with that, I welcome any questions. And again, I apologize for joining late. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Brainerd. Not a problem at all. And guys, we're going to hold questions until the very end. And so we've got a couple more speakers who want to speak, and we will go ahead and go with Raed. And Raed, if you don't mind, just introduce yourself and kind of the role you perform there as well. Thank you.
Of course. Hello, everyone. My name is Raed Al-Basit. I'm the Executive Director of Corporate Environmental Sustainability. So as Dr. Rusty has alluded to in the beginning of his talk, I do my area of responsibility from an environmental sustainability point of view is the project delivery. So the design, construction, and operations of the assets, the environmental planning, management, and assessment of that is what we focus on. We do work very closely with the SEZ team headed by Dr. Rusty, and to make sure that what we do it not only exceeds national requirements, does not only meet best international practice, but also when and wherever possible, and where we do have solutions, actually try to establish new standards for sustainability. We are fortunate that we're starting this project from scratch. So this, although this has many challenges that adds to our work, it does actually represent an opportunity for us and Dr. Rusty team to work very closely together to make sure that we can, test or try or pilot whatever possible at this stage, so that we ensure the success for this project to establish new standards in sustainability. Our team is not a very large team. We are in the order of 20 people working at the corporate side. We do overlook from pre-concept, concept design, to concept design, detailed schematic, and then detailed design. But we also manage all construction activities, from early and enabling work to main construction activities. As you know, we have 2 inland sites, but the main challenges are really represented by the very valuable and very sensitive developments on the islands. This is where our current focus is. We are racing against time. The project is going to be delivered in a very short period of time. We're opening up, the target date is December 22. So we are working hand in hand by both Dr. Rusty and the SAZ team from one hand, but also from the other hand by the whole development team, both design and construction, to make sure that all environmental aspects are being addressed at the different stages of delivering this project. I do have a very diverse team. They don't only come from different nationalities in different parts of the world, but they also come from a very wide background of experience from private sector, from government sector, and also from working for different companies, implementing different projects. The team works very closely together, and we work as one team on any particular project to make sure that, each and every one of us with his or her own expertise adds value to the environmental management of those projects. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think we have another speaker, I believe, which will be of great interest to everyone on the KAUST side for sure. And it's Yasser Al-Ghamdi. Yasser, if you don't mind introducing yourself and what your role is, Red Sea.
Thank you, Kevin. This is Yasser Al-Ghamdi. I'm Learning and Development Manager. I will give you a small brief about Elite Graduate Program, if you allow me. Okay, let me give me a small brief about this program. In alignment with the Red Sea strategic objective, the Elite Graduate Program is designed to enroll fresh graduates with a comprehensive system, placement, training program, and enrolling individual to achieve the highest potential. Main goal of this program also to give the elite and candidate and fresh grad holistic view, including the area outside their discipline. That's mean rotation program. They can rotate to see the work cycle from another triangle. Also, we have a program for coaching, a mentoring, and shadow program. Also, we strengthen the functional competency through smoothly merging the on-job training within structured assignment and demonstrate the Red Sea values to ensure the best organization fit, like my colleague Zihar say. In this program, we follow the model 70-20-10 model. That means we focus on the on-job training. That means learning by doing. Also, we have a mentoring for 20%. Also, we have a 10% from classroom training. They can implement what they learn from 10% in 70%. That means they can implement what they get from classroom and the real job and hands-on. Let me show you a small, if you allow me to show you the video about this program. That's all. Let me introduce you the best elite. We have three here. Let's start with Noura Islam.
Good afternoon, my KAUST family. My name is Noura Islam, and I'm a KAUST alumna. And I have just recently joined the Red Sea Development Company. I see many familiar names, which is great. Today, I'm going to be talking to you about my personal experience of joining the company. To begin with, when I decided to major in environmental engineering 8 years ago, it never occurred to me that I will not only land a job in the kingdom, but I'll also be pursuing a dream of mine. We are very grateful to have His Royal Highness and the Vision 2030 enable these giga projects that you may hear of. And the Red Sea is one of these giga projects. And I personally think that what distinguishes us as a project is our huge commitment to the environment, given the fact that it's a very valuable asset in the region, and it's also a valuable asset to our project in specific, because it's going to be something that we're going to conserve for our future visitors and tourists, as Dr. Rusty have mentioned. We at the Red Sea work towards achieving best practice in all our functions, including the environment and sustainability division. And it's something mutual that is expected from the employees as well. And alhamdulillah, we don't have a problem with that in the KAUST community. It's something that we're used to, and we are fast to adapt to. I would like to talk about the culture here. I'm from outside of Riyadh, so it's of course a very important factor to me. And it was a very smooth transition, to say the least. It's my home away from home. I really have no problem coming to Riyadh and coming to work every day, because it's a highly motivated environment that pushes you to give the best. And we have a lot of support from different divisions, not just ours. And you are encouraged as a young professional to continue to learn as you do your job. So alhamdulillah, I'm very proud to have joined the team, and I encourage you all to apply, no matter what your major is. It doesn't have to be environmental. And I wish you the best of luck. Thank you, and I'm going to pass it to my colleague and friend, Yara.
Hello, everyone. So we're trying to do social distancing. So my name is Yara Aldris. I'm a KAUST alumni. I have graduated last December from Environmental Science and Engineering degree. I have joined the Elite Graduate program at the Red Sea company. And I just want to tell you all that KAUST has opened so many doors for us, alumni, and I'm so happy for that. Not only did I land my dream job in one of the most successful companies in Saudi and probably in the world, but also that company has core values in which they are trying to protect and enhance the environment, as Dr. Rusty mentioned. And they're trying to achieve 30% enhancement in biodiversity. And I think not a lot of companies are doing that, which makes us very special. And I want to mention that you guys are lucky that KAUST and the Red Sea has a great relationship. So use that.
Very lucky.
Yeah. So use that relationship. And I'm lucky that I have fulfilled my purpose and my dream in working on such a project. I also want to note that it's quite challenging. However, you don't want to work in a place where you feel so relaxed and you're too comfortable in what you're doing, you're not being challenged. You need something that pushes you, and you want to get out of your comfort zone, and you want to learn new things every day. And I can say that I'm doing that a lot here at the Red Sea. And honestly, it's never ever boring here. There's always action happening. And the last thing I want to talk is a personal opinion. I was a bit hesitant to transition from the academia world to the corporate world. However, my Red Sea family really helped me with that, and I'm so grateful for them. I'm so grateful to be here, and I'm grateful that I am a KAUST alumni. Thank you all, and I'm gonna give it to Dana.
So, hello everyone. I see a lot of familiar names and familiar faces. Hello, Kevin. Hello, everyone. So we are very, very proud to be here today and to present ourselves as KAUST alumni and also working at Red Sea. It's a very great opportunity, and we would love to answer all your questions. Since Noura and Yara already spoke about the transition from KAUST to such a great company, and I would just like to talk about the company culture. I think you can see from my face, especially my body language, I mean, how much I'm comfortable working in such a company, having such an important role, because to be honest, when I was close to graduation, I didn't think that I would find a place that would appreciate being an environmental engineer. I thought I would be I would have a small role in a small company that I mean, it doesn't contribute to Saudi Arabia and to our developing vision for 2030. But actually, environmental and sustainability is the core of our company, and I feel very much appreciated working under such a great leadership. Dr. Rusty and the whole HR team and my colleagues were very comfortable working in such a great work environment and in such a great project. I mean, this is truly a dream come true. Going from such a great university such as KAUST to even greater workplace such as the Red Sea Development Company. And as we said at the beginning of the call, we have very close collaboration, a very close relationship with KAUST, which makes me feel even more proud to be KAUST alumna. Thank you.
Thank you, Dana. That's a great synopsis of your experience there. One of the things, guys, that I have noticed that each of you presenters have in common are the large smiles on all of your faces. It's obvious that you are passionate about what you're doing and you are enjoying what you're doing. And so that makes for a very compelling case to have you guys for your recruitment efforts. And I look forward to working with you all in the future with regards to recruitment. If you guys have questions for the panel, then please feel free to unmute your mics and ask your question. Otherwise, you can submit the question in the chat, as we mentioned earlier. To get things started, one of the questions is, when can we apply to join the elite program? Also, is there an address, a web address, or something else?
To answer your question is just keep watching our social media channels. That's where we post our jobs. over there. And one of the questions that I see here is the work location is going to be Riyadh. So basically, our corporate office is Riyadh, but our site is between Umlajan and Wajh, as most of you knows. And you're talking about a project area is almost 28,000 kilometers, which is the size of Belgium. So our base camp, we have people living there between Umlajan and Wajh. So yeah, just to answer your question, Yasser.
Okay, thank you. Another one of the questions that is available is there an opportunity for students to do training or while they're studying at KAUST, or how about in relation to that, what about internship opportunities? Maybe not this summer, obviously, but going forward.
If you allow me, Mr. Muhammad, let me answer that. Until now, we didn't have the co-op training, but we're planning to do it in the future. When we decide to start a co-op training, you are the first university to target.
100%.
Yes.
Okay. Does anyone want to ask a question themselves? If not,
we always welcome Saudi and the national talents to the Red Sea project.
Anytime.
Hello, I have a question.
sure, go ahead, Karen.
Hello, so I'm a KAUST alumni, and I was working on the Red Sea Research Center, and I was working with coral reef specifically. I have a question for Dr. Russell, if it's okay. Have you ever considered deploying artificial coral reef in the projects?
Thank you for the question. Yes, actually, we are planning, although we're not going to be calling them artificial reefs. There's some negative connotations of that, but we will be establishing, as I'd mentioned, working to establish 30% more corals across the entire special economic zone by 2040. In that process, some parts of that will be establishing brand new reefs where they don't exist, which kind of have been called in other places artificial reefs, where we don't know at this point. Kind of the first couple of years, we'll be kind of studying where is it ecologically possible for different coral species to be grown where they don't currently exist. So we're kind of in the study phase, and again, most of that work is done very closely with KAUST and with the Red Sea Research Center, and that is intended to consider. We're working very closely with colleagues at KAUST on using some of the technologies they've developed for kind of coral gardening and for some of the and establishment of coral nurseries that we can then outplant using different approaches. So hopefully that's helpful.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I also have a question. Have you considered, or it is in the plan, to open a research center to work on coral reefs in NEOM itself? Not just as a collaboration from KAUST, just also for the acquisition from KAUST talents to NEOM for this point of view.
I mean, we have established an MOU with KAUST, and part of that, there's strong support both from the Red Sea project and for KAUST, and in the MOU is a plan to establish a field research station that would be a joint KAUST Red Sea research facility that's going to have laboratories, infrastructure, nurseries, and it's also going to be a kind of eco-visitor center where we're, unlike a lot of projects, we really want our visitors to experience the enhancement of the environment. We want them to help us with planting and designing of new coral reefs or new mangroves or new seagrasses, and to have that hands-on experience. And our anticipation is that that will be at the field research station, although it still hasn't been designed. So we're still in really the discussion and requirements planning for that, but there's commitment both from KAUST and from Red Sea to establish that. And we're not talking just individual research projects of collaboration. We're talking a committed partnership over the long term between KAUST and the Red Sea project.
Thank you so much, Dr. Russell.
Thank you very much, Gaida, for that. A question that came up, we have, in addition to KAUST current students with the PhDs and the MS, we also have postdocs. And one of the questions is, are you also hiring postdocs?
Yes, we are. We have a couple of candidates that actually joined us recently in the company. So yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you. can you, another good question that came up with this, given the tourism issue, is can you guide us about your vision on water recycling and solid waste management?
Well, I can start at that. Others may, on the Red Sea side, may want to. We have very ambitious goals. So the commitments that we've made as a project is zero single-use plastics, zero waste to landfill, and initially it was zero brine discharge into the Red Sea. We're still developing technologies actually for all three of those. The easiest is actually going to be the zero single-use plastics, and that itself is challenging. We're working on solutions for the brine discharge. Right now, the technologies don't exist that are feasible for zero brine discharge, so we're really working to minimize any impacts of brine. And I can't remember what the other part of the question, but Ride or others may want to weigh in on this one.
I mean, you've said it all, Dr. Rusty, but just to explain maybe to our young engineers and scientists that through the design phase of this project, there are different phases through which we can, we need to deal with the realities now. So water recycling and dealing with waste and sewage on site is certainly one of our top priorities. We have not started having any kind of operations on site other than construction activities, and so the handling of waste and sewage and the need for sustainable the sustainable use of water resources is only limited to construction activities, in addition to very small presence of few of our colleagues on the base camp. We are now in the process of planning the next phase, which includes plans and management and management requirements for handling all of those stresses during peak construction activities. This is now being finalized, and of course, guided by Dr. Rusty, we are looking at the site moving from construction to operation as well, and how do we handle the long-term impacts and the long-term sustainable use of the resources and handling of wastewater and water resources.
Thank you for that. Questions that are kind of around the ELITE program are two things. One, is it for Saudi nationals only? And then secondly, when will it be open for applications, or what is the timeline for entry into the ELITE program?
So Z and Yasser can talk about that. We have just wrapped up the ELITE program under the guidance of Zihar and Yasser Al-Ghamdi, so they can elaborate more on that.
Thank you, Mohammed.
All right, allow me to jump in if you guys don't mind. Thank you, Mohammed, Kevin. I know just by looking at Yara and Noura and Dana, it is very exciting, to have graduates from KAUST to be part of this program. However, the company looked at this program right now as an exclusive group to come into the company, where they have a long progression plan ahead of their career lives, and definitely we're test piloting this group to recreate another patch in the very near future, hopefully. But we're focusing completely on developing these youngsters and these professional youth national calibers.
It looks like
now when it comes,
sir.
Yeah. And so when it comes, Kevin, to the participants, it is exclusively to the national talents at the moment, for those who just recently graduated from their degrees. But once definitely, as Yasser mentioned, we start another patch of elites, you guys will be absolutely the first to know and the first to be part of, hopefully.
Thank you very much for that, Zahar.
You're absolutely welcome, Kev. just to add to that, if you don't mind, Kevin, it does not mean that if we do not have an elite program that people cannot apply for the opening jobs that we have. The talent acquisition team are doing an amazing job over posting all these opportunities and openings on our websites and portals. So you guys can absolutely apply for these openings. And it does not mean that you're not part of the elite program, that you're not going to be, you know, looked after. This is a culture that we created that's all about care. It's all about passion to support each other. And it's all about, as you've witnessed, Kevin, having fun at what we do. We come into the office every morning and we are eager to stay and not to leave, honestly, just because of the culture that we created with each other here.
That's a great, thank you for expanding on that, Ziyar. That's a great point.
Thank you.
There was a question for Dr. Brainerd about the complexity of what you cover and whether or not there's an online resource or source that people can look at to read more about it versus what can be covered in this program.
Probably at this point, the best is a publication that came out in Frontiers in Marine Science on marine spatial planning. Again, and that exercise was led by KAUST, but included most of the leadership team within the Red Sea. And that kind of gives you kind of some of the aspirational goals in terms of how we're going to achieve some of the very ambitious goals that I outlined for 30% enhancement of biological diversity, and how we're going to grow 30% more corals and mangroves and seagrass, and how we're going to sequester the carbon, essentially a million metric tons of carbon a year. We don't have the solutions. I mean, that's why we're needing the best and brightest in collaboration with KAUST and others, is because we need to develop the solutions. There's some ways to do it, but we're also needing to make those ways cost effective. So that's why we need a team of folks to be committed and passionate and working on this day in and day out to find the solutions that haven't been successful anywhere else. We need to be that pioneer, and we need you all to help.
Thank you very much. I think unless there's another question, which I don't think there is at the moment, that I will give you, Zahar, an opportunity to close this up and give us your final pitch and send us all off into the weekend, sir.
Kevin, I really appreciate this beautiful opportunity. I'd like to thank KAUST and their members and all the students over there. You guys have always been one of the pioneers in leading the research centers in Saudi Arabia, and science as well, and technology. I myself am an advocate of KAUST, and I've been there several times on my career days. Even when I was back in my former job, I still visited those career days, and I recall those beautiful moments that I had with you guys. And I've always knew that wherever I go around the kingdom, wherever I work, I'll always keep KAUST, close to us. I'm so glad that the Red Sea built this partnership with you guys, and ensuring that we are driving together towards one common goal, and that is to set beautiful standards of sustainability and protecting our environment together. I would like to take this opportunity as well to thank the management here for giving us this opportunity to be part of this beautiful initiative and project, and thank my colleagues and peers who participated in this event, and looking forward, Kevin, to catch up with you guys on any opportunity we can find ourselves with you to participate towards common successful goals, hopefully. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it, and I wish you all a wonderful weekend, and all the best. Stay safe, stay connected. Don't do any social distancing, do just some physical distances. Social, we always have to stay connected with each other, and we always have to feed off of each other socially. So I appreciate this opportunity once again, and thank you all my colleagues.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you guys. Have a good afternoon.
You too.
Thanks a lot.
You as well. Bye-bye.